I am Usha Pathak. Elders, please accept my respect and love to youngers. Today, I want to say something about syntax of articles. In this chapter and those which follow it, the rules of syntax are again exhibited in the order of the parts of speech, with examples, exceptions, observations, notes, and false syntax. The notes are all of them in form and character, subordinate rules of syntax designed for the detection of error. Rule first, articles. Articles relate to the nouns which they limit as at a little distance from the ruins of the abbey stands an aged elm. See the blind beggar dance, the cripple sing, the short a hero, lunatic a king. Exception first. The definite article used intensively may relate to an adjective or adverb of the comparative of the superlative degree, as a land which was the mightiest. The farther they proceed, the greater appeared their alacrity. Exception second. The definite article is sometimes used to give a collective meaning to what seems a plural adjective of number, as thou hast a few names, even in Sardis. There are 1,000 things which crowd into my memory. Observation on rule first. The article is a kind of index, usually pointing to some noun, and it is a general, if not a universal principle that no one noun admits of more than one article. Hence, two or more articles in a sentence are sign of two or more nouns, and hence two. By a very convenient ellipsis, an article before an adjective is often made to relate to a noun understood as the grave, rebuke the gay, and the gay mock the grave. The wise shall inherit glory. The animal and the vegetable world are adapted to each other. Our language does not, like the French, require a repetition of the article before every noun in a series, because the same article may serve to limit the signification of several nouns, provided they all stand in the same construction. Hence, the following sentence is bad English. The understanding and language have a strict connection. The sense of the former noun only was meant to be limited. The expression before should have been. Language and the understanding have a strict connection. The understanding has a strict connection with language. In some instances, one article seems to limit the sense of several nouns. Grammarians declare it to be 4, there never can be a proper ellipsis of the article when there is not also an ellipsis of its noun. Ellipsis supposes the omitted words to be necessary to the construction when they are not so to the sense. And this, it would seem, cannot be the case with a mere article if such a sign be in any wise necessary, it ought to be used, and if not needed in any respect, it cannot be said to be understood. The definite article being generally required before adjectives that are used by ellipses as nouns. We, in this case, repeat it before every term in a series as they are singled out from among their fellows as the kind, the amiable, the sweet tempered, the upright. The great, the gay, shall they partake? The haven't that thou alone canst make. The article precedes its noun and is never by itself placed after it, as passion is the drunkenness of the mind. When an adjective likewise precedes the noun, the article is usually placed before the adjective, that its power of limitation may extend over that also, as a concise writer compresses his thoughts into the fewest possible words. The private path, the secret acts of men. The relative position of the article and the adjective is seldom a matter of indifference. Thus, it is good English to say both the men or the two men, but we can by no means say the both men or to the men. Again, the two phrases $50 and $50, though both good, are by no means equivalent of the pronominal adjectives. Some exclude the article, some precede it, and some follow it, like other adjectives. The word same is seldom, if ever, used without the definite article of or some stronger definite before it, as on the same day, in that same hour, these same gentlemen, after the adjective both, the definite article may be used, but it is generally unnecessary, and this is a sufficient reason for omitting it. All then present knew the thing. Few that were present were in the secret, etc. The pronominal adjectives which exclude the article are any, each, either, every, much, neither, no, or none, some, this, that, these, those. The pronominal adjectives which precede the article are all, both, many, such and what, as all the world, both the judges, many a mile, such a charms, what a freak. In like manner, any adjective of quality, when its meaning is limited by the adverb to, so, as, or how, is put before the article as too great a study, a strength is found to betray writers into a rash manner. When the adjective is preceded by any other adverb than to, so, as, or how, the article is almost always placed before the adverb as one of the most complete models. An equally important question, an exceedingly rough passage, a very important difference. The adverb quite, however, may be placed either before or after the article, though perhaps with a difference of construction, as this is quite a different thing, or this is a quite different thing, finding it quite an other thing, or finding it a quite other thing. Sometimes two adverbs interwoven between the article and the adjective, as we had a rather more explicit account of the novel. But when an other adverb follows to, so, as, or how, the three words should be placed either before the article or after the noun, as who stands there in so purely poetical a light. The definites this, that, and some other, though they supersedes the article an or a, may be followed by the adjective one, for we say this one thing, but not this a thing. Yet in the following sentences, this and a, being separated by other words, appear to relate to the same noun. For who is able to judge this, thy so great a people? But we may suppose the noun people to be understood after this. Again, the following examples, if it is not wrong, has an ellipsis of the word used after the first a. For highest cardinals, all their virtue lose by a too frequent and too bold a use. When the adjective is placed after the noun, the article generally retains its place before the noun and is not repeated before the adjective, as a man ignorant of astronomy. The promise is pale. In Greek, when an adjective is placed after its noun, if the article is applied to the noun, it is repeated before the adjective, as the great city. Articles, according to their own definition and nature, come before their nouns, but the definite article and an adjective seem sometimes to be placed after the noun to which they both relate, as section the fourth, Henry the eighth. Some examples, however, may possibly be supposed elliptical, as section the fourth, division of the chapter. In English, can never be placed after its noun, nor can two articles ever properly relate to one noun in any particular construction of it. The definite article is often prefixed to comparatives and superlatives, and its effect is as Murray observes. The article the is sometimes elegantly used after an idiom common in the French language in lieu of a possessive pronoun, as he looked him full in the face. The article N or A, because it implies unity, is applicable to nouns of the singular number only. It, a collective noun being singular in form, is sometimes preceded by this article even when it conveys the idea of plurality and takes a plural verb, as there are a very great number. Respecting the form of the indefinite article, present practice differs a little from that of our ancient writers. N was formerly used before all words beginning with H and before several other words, which are now pronounced in such a manner as to require a. Thus, we read in the Bible an hell, an house, an hundred, an one, an ever, an usurer, a half, a house, a hundred, a one, a ever, a usurer. Before the word humble, with its compounds and derivatives, some use an and other a, according to their practice. In this instance of sounding or suppressing the aspiration, an observance of the principles on which the article is to be repeated or not repeated in a sentence is of very great moment in respect to accuracy of composition. These principles are briefly stated in the notes below, but it is proper that the learner should know the reason of the distinction which are there made. By a repetition of the article before several adjectives in the same construction, a repetition of the noun is implied. But without a repetition of the article, the adjectives, in all fairness of interpretation, are confined to one and the same noun, as no figure will render a cold or an empty composition interesting. To avoid repetition even of the little word the, we sometimes with one article join inconsistent qualities to a plural noun. That is when the adjectives so differ as to individualize the thing. We sometimes make the noun plural instead of repeating the article, as the north and south poles, instead of the north and the south pole. The indicative and potential mode instead of the indicative and the potential mode. Please subscribe my channel, like and share with your friends.